All right, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. What's up, everybody? My people in Manhattan, the Bronx, Queens, over in Staten Island, my home borough, Brooklyn. Back out with another video. As we all know, Wild Card Weekend is upon us. NFL playoffs are upon us. My favorite time of the sports year. It's time to give some predictions. One of the wild card games we play this weekend is between the two of the NFL's oldest franchises and two of the NFL's longest rivals, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. I mean, this rivalry goes back to basically the dawn of the NFL. I mean, the Packers and Bears the Bears were a quote unquote dynasty in the 40s, winning multiple NFL championships. The Packers were one of the NFL's first dynasties, and of course, they were a dynasty in the 60s. They've had legendary coaches, Curly Lambeau, Vince Lombardi on the Packers side. The Bears, of course, had George Halas, who's like mythical in NFL lore. You know, they had all types of great players from Bart Starr and, Ray Nitschke to Dick Butkus and Gale Sayers on the Bears side. Walter Sweetness Payton, R.I.P. In the 90s, they had, Brett Favre and Reggie White on the Packers side. Mike Singletary on the Bears side. You had so many legendary players, Hall of Famers, and coaches on both sides of this rivalry. Like I said, it's one of the NFL's oldest and greatest rivalries. So you see Brett Favre and Bears Hall of Fame linebacker Brian Urlacher, obviously in the 2000s. Here, Brian Urlacher is staring down Aaron Rodgers. The last time these two teams met in the playoffs was 16 years ago or 15 years ago. The 2010 NFC Championship game in Chicago, in which the Packers went in as a 6-seed. They were a 6-seed wild card team, and they defeated the Chicago Bears 21-14 to go to the Super Bowl. Of course, they ended up winning the Super Bowl that year, beating Pittsburgh. So one of the NFL's oldest and greatest rivalries, and this weekend is being renewed. Who's gonna win this? I thought a lot hard about this, and I'm gonna go with the Chicago Bears. I think the Bears may have found their guy, their quarterback, in Caleb Williams. I mean, the Bears don't have a great history at quarterback. No, I know they did win the Super Bowl, but that was with Jim McMahon. But Jim McMahon was no Hall of Fame quarterback. But he was good enough. He was good enough to get the job done. And plus, that team was carried by that legendary defense, arguably the greatest defense ever. Of course, they had Hall of Famer Walter Payton in the backfield. But, the Bears, I believe Sid Luckman, he was a quarterback for the Bears in the 40s. He's in the Hall of Fame. But that's in the 40s, bro. We're in the 2020s. Like, the Bears don't have a great history of quarterback. Meanwhile, the Packers, Bart Starr, the Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Now, a lot of people like this kid, Jordan Love. We'll see. Of course, Bart Starr's in the Hall of Fame. Favre's in the Hall of Fame. Rodgers is going to end up in the Hall of Fame. Let's give Jordan Love a little more time before we decide to put a gold jacket on him, okay? But, man, back to the Bears. I believe they may have found their guy, Caleb Williams. He may end up, and then if his career we'll say, oh, Caleb Williams is going to have a gold jacket. He's going to the Hall of Fame for his eligibility. Again, it's too early. It's early to say, but he's looked good this season. I think having the new head coach, I believe Ben Johnson, who was the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions the previous year, I think he's helped him a lot. And Ben Johnson should get some Coach of the Year votes. Again, personally, I say this in my Rams-Panthers video, I believe Mike Vrabel should be the Coach of the Year in the NFL for this season. But, the Panthers head coach deserves some votes, and I think Ben Johnson of the Bears deserves some votes for Coach of the Year. But anyway, these two teams met in the regular season. They split it. The Packers beat the Bears 28-21 in Green Bay, and the Chicago beat Green Bay in Chicago 22-16 in overtime. This may end up being a close game. It's going to be cold as hell. I'll say the Chicago Bears will win this game in a close score of 20-17. Okay? I imagine it's going to be brick as shit in Chicago. Man, well, that's what I think. I think the Bears will win 20-17. If you disagree, you're welcome to respectfully disagree with me in the comment section down below. Tell me who you think is going to win this game. I got the Bears 20-17 to advance the NFC divisional round. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I have no problem admitting that. Don't forget to click the like button, subscribe, have a young brother grow on YouTube. I'm going to see you all.